What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here once again in my Tony La Russa Transition Lenses, talking some Cardinals baseball. It's been a while. I got a topic that, well, maybe you'll like the topic. I don't think you're going to like my take because, look, Oli Marmol has grown on me a bit. He's growing on me. You guys probably don't like hearing that, okay? But here's why. First of all, I thought about this last week. I was on vacation. I was in Ohio, didn't do any videos. But what really struck me, I really enjoyed Oli appearing on the BK and Ferrario show on 101 ESPN. I didn't listen to the entire interview, but I saw a ton of the clips on social media. And the one that I really, really liked was he was asked, basically, do you think any of the criticism you get from fans, is that fair? Is any of it fair? And do you react to it and think, yeah, I could have done things differently? And he said right out of the gate, he said basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that he regretted, he called it the T.O. situation, Tyler O'Neill. The way he handled the Tyler O'Neill situation, this is going back to what, 2023. And he said, doing it publicly, he would have done it differently, so on and so forth. I really liked that. I really like when people can admit they're wrong or admit their mistakes and just say that. It's so hard for so many people to do that these days, in sports, in politics, everywhere, to just admit you were wrong. And look, I've always been pretty neutral on Oli. I was never a Oli fanboy. I was never necessarily an Oli hater. I think I was pretty fair. My big issues with Oli, here are my big issues with Oli. I thought he did not do a great job in game one of the playoffs, 2022 versus the Philadelphia Phillies, right? We can talk about Quintana. We can talk about Ryan Helsley usage, and we don't have to go back. I'm just saying, look, that was his first playoff game. I get it. I don't think he put his team in the best position to win. I think he'd even admit that now with not having somebody up once Helsley was struggling. Did he pull Quintana too early? Again, we're going back 3 years, but that was one of my big issues. But again, it was his first playoff game. So I'm not even trying to be a hater, but that's fair. This is the big leagues. It was the playoffs. I don't think he put the Cardinals in the best position to win. My then two issues, the two biggest were 2023, when the Cardinals just fell off the planet and just became a terrible baseball team, he was the man in charge. And I always say, look, baseball managers, it's like an NFL quarterback or head coach. You always get too much of the credit, too much of the blame. Obviously, credit, things going well, blame, things going poorly. Look, man, like through all the TLR years, the Matheny years, the Schilt years, the Cardinals never took a crap like they did in 2023. So, and I've said all along, organizationally, Mozeliak, DeWitt's development, that's the bigger problem. But still, you can't take Oli off the hook for 2023. He was the manager for that year. The Cardinals fell off the frickin' planet. They were terrible. He deserves some blame for that as well. He is the manager of the team. But then also get back to the Tyler O'Neill situation. And I said this publicly on the radio when it happened. I thought it made no strategic sense whatsoever to handle that publicly. I have no issue whatsoever with calling out Tyler O'Neill privately or even doing it in a professional way publicly. He threw him under the bus. I didn't hear any athlete, any former player that thought that was a good idea to do that. The only people defending Oli, let's be honest, were rights holders in that situation. And I'm talking nationally. I never heard one person say Oli handled that well. So that's why when I say Oli is growing on me, the fact that last week he admitted he made a mistake there, he would have handled that differently, I think that shows a lot of maturity and a lot of growth. And I think that's really, really good. So there you go. I just pointed out the things where I think it's fair to criticize Oli. But also, look, 2022, the team was good. He's a good manager. They fell off the face of the earth 2023. 2024 and here in 2025, okay. And I understand, this isn't going to be popular because the Cardinals just lost a series to the worst team in baseball, the Colorado Rockies. But they also just won series against the Dodgers and the Cubs. They're right at 500. I don't think anybody thought this team was going to be good this year. So I actually think Oli's done a pretty good job this year. You can make an argument. You can make the argument this could be his best managing job because the team's not very good, right? 2022 was a good team. Do you think Oli Marmol wanted to roll out Eric Fetty and Miles Michaelis for 40% of the starts this year? Hell no. And I think we've all realized by now. And I'm not saying Oli's the greatest manager in baseball. I'm still relatively neutral on him. But the bigger problems, Mozeliak, DeWitt's development. Oli's just out there managing the players that he can manage. And I don't think this is a very good team at all. Pitching staff, not great. Who's the superstar? I mean, there's no superstar on this team. So I think you could make the argument that Oli's actually maybe done his best job managing with this team because this team is not very good. So what do you guys think? What do you think of those takes right there? And by the way, this is also not saying, I'm not saying Oli should necessarily even be back next year, although I think it would be fine if he was. I'm not into this, oh, you have to have a new contract. You can't be a lame duck manager. I think that's really stupid. But also, look, if Chaim Bloom likes Oli, Chaim Bloom should keep Oli. If Chaim Bloom doesn't think Oli's the guy to lead the team, lead the franchise for the next 5 years, then Chaim Bloom should be able to pick his own guy. And that's totally fair too. And look, I think Oli will get another chance somewhere else because I think he's done at least an okay job overall. But look, he was Mozeliak's pick. He was Mozeliak's guy, and Chaim Bloom's taking over, and Chaim Bloom should be able to pick his own manager moving forward. What do you guys think about that? Is it fair? Am I crazy? Hey, please hook up our sponsors, by the way. Triad Bank. Best thing I ever did for my rental property business, taking all my commercial loans from a big national bank that didn't care about me to Triad Bank, relationship-based banking. They're fantastic. I go to the Frontenac location. Just got a new loan with them about 2 months ago. It was so easy. I called my guy, Matthew Tobin, on Memorial Day weekend, and he answered my text, and he got it all done for me. And then also, of course, St. Louis Lawn Care, St. Louis Equipment. It's tough these days with the sun, but weed control, right, this time of year. St. Louis Lawn Care for your mowing, for your mulch, if you want to freshen up your mulch, mosquito and bug control, St. Louis Equipment. Get a new mower, get your mower repaired, all your small engine stuff, right? I've gotten a Crest battery-operated trimmer. That's a beast. Used that yesterday. I got a Husqvarna blower. That's the fuel mix. That's a beast as well. Got a ton of stuff. Got all my landscaping from St. Louis Lawn Care, St. Louis Equipment as well this year. My guy, Tim Jenkerson. Got some Arbor Vita back here. Got, a big juniper. Got a bunch of boxwoods that had died off, and they trimmed them, and they did it all. So St. Louis Equipment, St. Louis Lawn Care, and, of course, my guy, Matthew Tobin, Triad Bank. Please support all of my great sponsors right there. And I thought of one more thing as I was about to wrap it up. I think Oli Marmol shows very well on these long-form interviews. When he's with BK and Ferrario, when he's talking with Bernie, he shows well in the long-form podcast form. And I think Cardinal fans can see a different side of him than when he's doing the 5 to 8 minute post-game press conference when oftentimes he's pissed because the team lost and maybe he's a little short, little snippy. And I get it. TLR was like that too, but I think Oli's very smart. I almost forgot to say this. This was on my mind. Oli's very smart to do these long-form interviews. That's where he talked about Tyler O'Neill. He talks with Bernie. He shows very well, and I think it's good PR to keep doing those because I think fans will warm up to him a little bit and already have. So, Oli, that's smart of you to do. All right, peace out.